Yes, like you said, we have the FDI, foreign direct investment, and then the indigenous investors. And looks like many of the concerns, or a greater magnitude of the concerns, comes through from the local indigenous investors. Let's start with those ones. What manner of concerns have been raised in the last 2 years that you've been able to deal with, coming in from the local investors who you directly deal with?
So, because of my former deployment at the State House Anti-Corruption Unit,
yes,
many local, I wouldn't even call them business persons, because many Ugandans, for that matter, many Ugandans are still looking for the name Nakarema to present every problem.
Yes.
So we have been receiving many concerns, including those that have nothing to do with investment.
Okay.
So we have been receiving concerns about land grabbing. We have been receiving concerns about fraud and the fraud in even at smaller. I would say maybe smaller portions, even domestic violence sometimes. People look
see a mother in you.
Yes, they see a mother in me, and I like it. But the good thing is that His Excellency the President directed us to receive everyone that comes to us and to guide them where they can get assistance, where they can get right attention or effective services. So at the State House Investors Protection Unit, we collaboratively coordinate with all government ministries, departments, and agencies in collaboration with the private sector. So when we receive these concerns of fraud, of corruption generally in land, in embezzlement of funds in government offices, sometimes we coordinate with the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, with the CID, with the IGG's office, but also we ensure that the ministries concerned get to know the concerns of citizens that come to us. So we have been, and we still collaborate with all agencies to ensure that those that come to us wanting to add value, because anyone complaining about an issue that is hindering their development is supposed to be given every attention, because they want to add value to their lifestyles, if not businesses.
Okay.
So we receive everyone. But we have also had a good opportunity of attending to our local investors, our local business persons at all levels, starting with SMEs, or the small and medium enterprises, including micro small. So we had meetings with the CASITA, the FUTA, Federation of Uganda Traders Association, with Mbasita, Mbarara Traders Association, with Karangara oil palm growers, with the members or the leaders of the Uganda Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have been mobilizing all our domestic investors, domestic business persons at all levels to ensure that their concerns are attended to. The main concerns that we have picked in line with business development from our local investors include, and are not limited to, high interest rates in commercial, given by commercial or charged by commercial banks when they take loans for increasing their capital or even starting their businesses. And for that, we have been coordinating with the Central Bank, the Bank of Uganda leadership, together with the CEOs of the banking sector. So we have had meetings to ensure that the domestic investors, the local investors, are not failed by their own leaders in our economic sector. And we work together with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. We also work together with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives to ensure that the local investors, when they have concerns to do with the high interest rates, again, with also they have this, I will call it the perception of high interest rates. I mean, no, high interest rates that I have finished, but the the
Taxes?
perception of taxes.
Yeah.
They think that taxes are so high and are many. So the perception of the high taxes and that they are many and nearly look or appear the same when they talk about property tax and rental tax. We collaboratively work with the Uganda Revenue Authority, and thankfully the Commissioner General and his able team at URA have been sensitizing the community about the differences of these taxes that are charged, but they are also going ahead to explain why they charge at the rates they charge.
All right.
So the two concerns that keep coming up with our local investors, it's about the high cost of doing business in their country, again referring to the high interest charges from commercial banks, then taxes, the question of taxes. But they also talk about delays in some certification processes in agencies. So in that area, we work closely with the Uganda Investment Authority, we work closely with NEMA, we work closely with, again, the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration when it comes to work permit for these investors, including the foreign direct investors. So we are seeing a big flow of increased investments, both local and foreign. Yes.
Edith, let's talk about one concern that has consistently come through. I do not know whether it has reached your desk, but it's currently the reason as to why some of the traders are also striking away from the taxes that you have talked about. There is the idea of foreign investors doing this business, trading basically, business that should have really belonged to the locals, and in essence competing with the local investors, whom some of them do supply as manufacturers. You know, they do supply them on wholesale, yet still do the retailing and the trade. How is this conversation playing out? And has it reached your desk?
We are looking at which sector specifically?
Trade to talk about, basically.
So trading within or wanting to export?
Within the country. You know the complaints that some of the traders, for example, in Chikuba will tell you that without naming particular nationalities, but some of our would-be investors are doing petty trade.
Yes.
In the same area where our local traders would actually be able to do and earn a living.
Sure. That has been another concern which we have addressed. We actually in trying to address that challenge of what we called the foreign investors encroaching on small businesses, which is not right at all. We don't entertain foreign investors encroaching on micro businesses like hawking.
True.
Really, for a foreign investor to go to the extent of coming from a factory, bypassing shops and going to hawk in villages, it's completely wrong. We held a meeting with the agencies that are concerned with that, and this one is led by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, where the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration, they have a department for, of course, their legal department heads this to verify which permit was this foreign investor given and to what extent should they stop. So they have been following up on that, but it was also a concern with security agencies that you don't take it for granted that someone will come from all the way from China or India or Korea to come and hawk ground nuts in villages and plastic and baby toys. So even the security took interest, led by ISO, when we had a meeting to deal with this concern of foreign investors encroaching on small businesses. We had security agencies represented by the Director General ISO, also ESO, and then we also had CMI, because that was last year. Now, so we had also police to be sure that community policing is done with the knowledge of who enters or penetrates our communities. So that is a key concern that we paid attention to and are still following up on ensuring that foreign investors stop at where they are supposed to stop. They are supposed to bring in new technologies. They're supposed to bring in, they're supposed to be involved in bigger businesses where we would get jobs and have taxes, and not to touch.